A disturbing video in which a man who seems to be a plainclothes police officer rants at an Uber driver. One of the passengers took this video of the incident and posted it online. The passenger says the officer in an unmarked car tried to park without using his turn signal. The Uber driver gestured at him to use his blinker, and then the officer pulled up behind the Uber driver. We're going to show you more of the video, but first, we want to make it clear. The NYPD has confirmed in a statement to CNN, and I'm quoting now, the man is a member of the NYPD, and the incident is being investigated by Internal Affairs.
Do you understand me?
Sir, I am not saying...
Do you understand me?
Yes, I understand.
Okay, so stop it with your mouth.
Okay.
Stop it with your, for what, sir? For what, sir?
Okay.
Stop it with that
Okay.
and realize the 3 vehicle and traffic law violations you committed.
Okay.
Okay? Do you understand me?
Yes,
I don't know what planet you think you're on right now.
I'm not planning, sir. I'm here.
Planning? I said planet.
I say I'm not. I'm not any planet.
Law and stay there. Now let me tell you something. The next time you do it again,
okay.
You're getting your, okay, what? You gonna let me finish?
Sir,
Stop interrupting me.
Okay. Apologize. I'm sorry.
Well, who do you think you're talking to here? How long have you been in this country?
Almost 2 years.
Almost how long?
2 years.
2 years. I got news for you. Use this lesson. Remember this in the future. Don't ever do that again.
Okay.
The only reason you're not in handcuffs going to jail and getting summonses in the precinct is because I have things to do.
Okay.
That's the only reason that's not happening. Because this isn't important enough for me. You're not important enough.
Uber calls the behavior of the video unacceptable. It says it appreciates the fact that the NYPD is now investigating. Joining us now to discuss, the retired NYPD detective Harry Houck and CNN political commentator Van Jones. Harry, what do you make of this video?
Well, I tell you, there's no way that I can condone the actions of this officer. He's definitely totally out of control, showing no respect for this driver. I'm watching this video here, and I'm flabbergasted. I feel so bad for this driver. It's just unbelievable.
I mean, the fact that he's a plainclothes officer, Harry, what does that say to you? Should a plainclothes officer be stopping a vehicle like this to begin with?
Well, some plainclothes officers do make stops if they're like in robbery. I was in robbery, but they're not in like a suit. This guy's in a suit, and he's also looks like he's driving all by himself in an unmarked car. So I don't know where he was going or what he was doing, but it seems to me that this guy had some time on the job also. This is some kind of behavior you might expect from some rookie who doesn't know what he's doing. This officer should have known a lot better what he did here. And also, the stop that he made here doesn't look like it's a legal stop for me either.
Yeah, that's a good point. Van, it's hard not to get angry just watching this video. The driver certainly seems like he reacted almost as perfectly as someone could expect someone to react given the circumstances,
exactly.
Right?
Well, absolutely. You know, police officers are supposed to arrest people for road rage, not subject people to road rage. I mean, that's the thing. It's like the kind of behavior you saw from the police officers, the kind of behavior you hope somebody would be arrested for doing, not that being a police officer. But I think something more important here is at the end, when he starts almost making fun of him for being from another country. That is very, very destructive. And, you know, I'm so glad you now have some of these things caught on camera. You've had communities for a long time saying the police treat us differently. And we don't have equal justice, and we want the police to treat us the same as others. And some people have said, look, you guys are playing the race card. This is not happening. You should be more respectful toward police. You wouldn't have these problems. But look, here is a classic example of someone who is desperately trying to show this officer respect, and even his efforts bring him more mockery. And that's very dangerous. And to the point, it's not a rookie. In some parts of our country and some law enforcement agencies, this has become a culture of contempt. Some people are treated one way, others are treated differently, and that's wrong. It has to stop.
Harry, the officer essentially threatens the driver with going to jail if, in fact, all this driver did was simply gesture what he believed to be a regular civilian's car to use the blinker as that driver should have been using. Was that really warranted?
No, I don't think the stop was warranted. But, you know, to get back to what Mr. Jones said, let's not blanket all officers in this country, you know, to be the type of officers that are going to act like this on a car stop, okay? This is one individual, all right, who has done this, and I like to think most police officers don't act that way. Apparently, this officer had a bug up his butt for something, and And yes, that driver was probably one of the most cooperative drivers I've ever seen that I've ever even pulled over, trying to calm that officer down the way he was trying to talk to him.
You know, Van, can the officer, at one point he asked them, as you point out, you know, where are you from? Which raises questions about whether that's an appropriate question to ask. Civil rights violation, perhaps. What do you think?
Well, it's very, very dangerous, officer, now. If he is acting under color of law, and he seems to be acting under color of law, and he's subjecting this person to different treatment because of the color of his skin, that is unlawful in the United States. What that means is that this person, we don't know where he's from, we don't know anything about him, but not only can he file a complaint, as he did, to get the officer disciplined, demoted, or even fired, but he can also go into our court system and get civil rights remedy and redress. Listen, it is very, very important for us to understand that you know, some people have these kinds of experiences more often than others, and it makes us live almost in two different societies. I believe that officer, if that same officer, 20 minutes earlier, was probably being very respectful to someone who looked very different. And so you got to understand that people do treat people differently. Hey, listen, I would imagine that you don't get a chance to be in the police force as long as he has treating everyone that way.
You know, I don't condone the man's behavior at all, okay? It was totally out of control as far as I'm concerned. But there's nothing to indicate here that, you know, that he made the stop because of the guy's, you know, wherever he's from. I think that was just a stupid comment the officer made while he was engaged in the, you know, in that crazy behavior.
What kind of discipline, Harry, you think this officer deserves?
Well, I think this officer is definitely going to be in a hell of a lot of trouble. I mean, here we're talking about this on CNN. He's probably going to get suspended a couple days, something like that. I don't see the officer being fired for something like this. He might be retrained, but maybe a couple days suspension. But he's going to get hammered, this guy, because the NYPD doesn't like looking at this, and the NYPD doesn't want their officers acting like this.
Yeah, I suspect there's going to be a public apology as well.
Oh,
Harry
definitely, without a doubt.
Yeah.
It definitely should be a public apology to that man.
Yep, because the video's out there and everybody can watch it. Harry, Van Jones, guys, thanks very much. Good discussion.